subscribe, and give this video a like.
Starting off with the Link's Awakening details. First, what's everyone's thoughts on Link's Awakening so far? I don't think we've had Holly on in a while, so yeah.
Good.
So
Wow.
Yes, I haven't been on here for quite some time, actually. At least a few months, correct?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
at least before E3. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And I got to play it at E3. Yeah, I know you guys did too.
yeah,
And it was so dang cute. I mean, I was kind of heavily involved with getting content, so I didn't play as much of the game as I should have. Well, I got to play Link's Awakening at E3, just like you guys. It was adorable. I am honestly super impressed with the feel of the game, the graphics, everything. The music is stunning. So obviously Zelda is really known for their music. But I don't know. I'm just like excited overall. I think it's going to be wonderful. I think it's the perfect game for the Switch. Really, let it be on like handheld mode or on a giant TV. And we got to play them on those pretty big screens, and it looks fabulous. So
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just excited. It's such a good graphic style for the Switch. So
all right. Well, I have a list of details here. These don't really come from a website. These are just things that I was rewatching the Treehouse presentation, some interviews, articles, and stuff, and I try to put everything together. So some of this might be new, some of it might be old news to everyone, but we're gonna list it off and then discuss it. So, all right. So Aonuma says they went with the diorama art style because Link's Awakening originally had a style that looked like it was from an angle or tilt shifted, and that's what gave Aonuma the idea to make Link's Awakening in this diorama looking graphic art style, which they actually had the dioramas on display at E3.
Yes.
So
They were so good.
they
Too.
kind of
they
went
were
all out in
great.
this. Yeah. But his statement here did have me a bit confused because A Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, the 3DS 2D Zelda games, they were tilt shifted as well, but their art style was completely different. So I wonder,
That's true.
like if he gave it this diorama art style because the game looked like it was tilt shifted or being looked at as if you were looking at a diorama. I wonder why he didn't go with it with them, or maybe just the 3DS just wasn't capable of it, so he wasn't able to until he went to the Switch. I don't know. Anyways, the Nintendo Treehouse representative teased being able to take the Bow Wow or the Chain Chomp for the Mario fans out there around with you at different areas of the map.
Parts of the game.
We know there's a little mini side quest that you can do at the sort of close to the beginning of the game, but the way that she was talking made it seem like they had added in new stuff, or that you would be able to either equip or just have new quests that were added to where you could take the Chain Chomp around with you. Because she started to say something. Yeah, it was on the Treehouse presentation. They played the game for like 20 or 30 minutes. She started to say something, but then she said she didn't want to give too much away. So it made it seem like she knew something that she wasn't going to say.
She knows.
Yeah.
They do that with Trios sometimes, because with Breath of the Wild, when I think it was at the Game Awards, and Nate Bildorf and Bill Trennan were showing the demo in the Zonai ruins, and then Nate Bildorf almost went to the goddess statue that's there, which we now know is like there's a shrine there and stuff. But then Bill was like, no, you can't show that yet. And he's like, but it's right there. And it's like, no, that must be so hard for them to like restrain themselves, you know? he's like it's right there. There's something good.
Yeah.
And they're like, get away from them right now.
Bill's like, no, you don't show them. You can't.
Something that I noticed that they also mentioned, which they mentioned that they liked it, but personally I didn't, which was around the corners and especially at the top of the screen. They had sort of a haziness or blurriness to it to give it a sort of depth of field, but it just looked unnatural because like it's not as if you're seeing something really far off in the distance be blurry. Like you're kind of looking at it top down, so almost everything's the same amount, like the same length away. So it was just odd to me, and it made me wonder if they did it for technical issues, like maybe they had to make it blurry because the performance wasn't there to have everything crystal clear with details and everything. So they
also, like, as it loads into screen, it can come through a little blurry at first, and then okay, maybe.
I wrote in my notes that I hope they're able to fix it. But again, I don't know if that's something that you guys noticed, but it's something that I noticed as well.
I didn't notice, but like I said, I was kind of half playing because I was focusing on my friends, making sure they were doing the video correctly for my vlog. So.
Yeah, and most of the game, you're going to be like staring directly at the center because that's where Link is.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
We were so close to the screen too. I was just, I didn't really notice that.
Yeah,
I did, but I actually kind of liked it. It does kind of give almost like a bit of charm to the game's art style, but I can see it kind of I definitely can see it bothering some people, but I think because you're so focused on what's like going on right in the middle of the screen that it just never was an issue in my eyes. But and that 15-minute demo is pretty lengthy as well. So
was it 15?
I think it was 15 minutes. Yeah,
at least. Yeah,
I was thinking it was
which is why the lineup was so long.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just think, if they would have had the Switch lights at E3, they could have just had like a row of Switch lights instead of having to give every Switch its own TV. That way.
But I would have rather
people would steal them.
No, like they
people
can have
would
it like
run.
They're light. They can shove it in their pants.
Yeah.
So another thing was, it was just technical issues, but again, it's a demo, so you expect it to not be completely at the retail standards just yet, but there were occasional slowdowns and stuff whenever a lot of rupees or a lot of stuff would be on screen
rupees,
at once.
Jesse.
Yeah, well, all right.
Just pick them up.
So this is interesting. I was reading a bunch of different interviews that it is running on Unreal Engine 4, so fans are finally getting their highly requested Unreal Engine 4 Zelda game for Switch. It just isn't the realistic Ocarina of Time HD remake that they've been demanding.
Fans have been making on YouTube for years.
Some of the comments on, like, who was it? Digital Foundry's videos talking about the way the engine was and everything, were complaining that it looks nothing like Unreal Engine 4, that this looks absolutely nothing like the Ocarina of Time demos, so therefore it could not be Unreal Engine 4.
But an engine is not the same thing as an art style.
Yeah.
You could have cars that have the same literal engines but different coats of paint. You wouldn't be like, oh, what? But these can't both be Corvettes. Like, you know,
like this one's blue. That one's red.
Like, there was a stretch of example because I don't know enough about cars, but art style and the game's physics engine are not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess run on the same engine. You can't compare those two art styles and be like, they can't be the same engine. This makes no sense.
That's just like people being like, I didn't like the end of Game of Thrones. You should just remake that entire season. It's like, do you know how this works? That's not how this works. Sorry.
Yeah.
No. So it's not the same engine. What?
Yeah, there was even the one episode of Game of Thrones where everyone complained it was dark, and they were like, just go refilm it with the lights on. It's like, that's not how it works. Like,
no.
There's a direction that the director wanted it to go in. So, anyways,
I'm surprised though that would come from Digital Foundry. Aren't they quite? Like,
no, Digital Foundry said, like, they were the ones that had the video saying it was Unreal Engine 4. The comments in the video.
Gotcha.
Where people,
uneducated.
That makes way more sense.
That I actually put in my notes here, in quotes, which just confirms that this just confirms what Daniel and I have been saying for years. These so-called fans have no idea what a game engine is and how it works.
Well, don't you know? Isn't a game engine like a box, and then you just like put game into it, and then you shake it up, and then video game comes out?
So,
the logic.
Daniel kind of touched on it a bit, but you can have like Unreal Engine. Now it's the Unreal Engine 4 is one of the most popular video game engines. You can have games like the Final Fantasy VII remake or Batman Arkham Knight. that look sort of super realistic or have a lot of detail, and then you can have games that look like straight up cartoons that look completely different. You can even have 2D games that aren't even 3D, that just use like weird 2D sprites, or not sprites, but little 2D models and stuff. So you can take a game engine and make it look. Yes, Daniel?
I think both Mario Rabbids and Starlink, 2 games that visually do not look anything like each other, both run on the Snowdrop engine. So, again, art style, game engine, not the same thing. It's not a magic box.
I believe The Division by Ubisoft also runs on it. And
on that same, those are also
supposed to be
Ubisoft,
super realistic.
It's just the Ubisoft's magic engine. It's their magic box. I was wrong.
Oh my god.
So, some new details. Everyone's favorite Gravekeeper appears in Link's Awakening, who he was not in the original game. Dampé or Damp. I don't know how everyone pronounces his name. How do you pronounce it, Holly?
Did you just say damp?
Damp? Dampé?
Yeah, or damp.
There's a little accent over the E, isn't there?
Yeah,
Dampé.
but he's saying
just
that terrible people pronounce it like that, right? I say Dampé.
Yeah.
Normally.
Okay.
Is it Dampé?
I've always said Dampé, but I've also said things wrong and had people get mad at me.
That might be an accent thing. Well, no, you're Canadian. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's an accent thing because the A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now I'm confused.
I always thought the first part was pronounced damp, because if you think of like someone that's going around digging up a bunch of graves, like
they're
damp graves or damp dirt.
Poor guys. It's just kind of damp.
Yeah, because like when you go into the graves, like you pull the tombstones away, or even when you do like his little mini game to get the hook shot, like there's little puddles of water and stuff, and like water on the walls. So I imagine like it's just damp. So they just put that in his name, or they try to make a name.
That's the worst name to have. It's like, these are my 2 children, Damp and Moist.
It's better than Moiste.
My
Moist.
goodness.
This is my son. His name's Moist. We hate him.
Oh my gosh.
No.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
You guys are so silly.
He's making an appearance in the game. They said for fans to expect other surprises as well, whether that means new characters, items, quests, or whatever, we don't know. Dampé is just one example of new things that they put in the game. He runs the dungeon creator called Chamber Dungeon. It will replace the camera shop from the DX version, which was the original re-release or remaster of Link's Awakening.
Oh, so does that mean we're losing the camera shop?
Yeah. This is the Chamber Maker Dungeon place. Like, I mean, Damp's house.
That's a cool trade-off, but still.
Instead of a camera shop, you get Damp's house. So...
You get Damp's house.
Yeah.
Yo, Damp, what's up? I'm here to make a dungeon.
Yeah. Alanuma has been wanting to make a dungeon designer for a long time. He played around with the idea in Skyward Sword with the Sky Keep, which is like you rearrange the rooms of the dungeon to unlock different areas. For those who remember it, this is just taking it to the next level. He says it's inspired by Skykeep and Picross, as well as obviously Mario Maker. Yeah.
What?
He's specifically in the interview during the Treehouse thing. He specifically mentions Picross.
Picross. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Did not expect
that. Those are his words. So go fight it. Go fight Mr.
I don't want to argue with the man himself, but I just did not expect that.
Only dungeon rooms that you have completed can be used in the Dungeon Maker.
Oh, someone's gonna make one that's just the same room over and over again.
Yeah, so like
someone's gonna make that.
You get more variety as it goes on.
Very cool.
And you've done more dungeons. Rooms from the Color Dungeon will have a unique feature in the Dungeon Maker.
They'll have colors.
Bright neon colors.
Right. Dungeon boss rooms are called nightmares. Some dungeons are changed from the original.
Okay.
Multiplayer isn't confirmed or denied, but Aonuma and Nintendo encourages fans to experiment with dungeons and compete with friends for the quickest time to complete dungeons. So it seems there's going to be some sort of like
something.
Yeah.
Leaderboard scores or something.
Some sort of online type feature. That'd be pretty cool.
More information will be coming later. Amiibo will be compatible, like in Breath of the Wild.
Yay!
Every amiibo will do something, but amiibo from the Zelda series will do more. So again, I imagine that's like Breath of the Wild, to where you could use a Mario amiibo, but you'll just get a chest full of food. Whereas if you use a Zelda
not
amiibo,
even a chest,
you'll get something like an item or something.
Yeah.
The Link's Awakening amiibo will add something called a plus effect to the chambered dungeon. It is unclear if every Zelda amiibo will add a different plus effect, or if it might add something completely different outside of the dungeons. They specifically just said the Link's Awakening amiibo's plus effect will add Dark Link or Shadow Link to your dungeon, and he will aggressively chase you through the dungeon and attack you, which is meant to encourage users to speedrun the dungeons. Taking time to slow down and thinking too long about puzzles will allow Shadow Link to catch up. So again, they're pushing.
It's going to make me want to stop and fight. The opposite of speedrun.
Well, apparently you can't. I don't think you can actually defeat him. You can just like stun him for a while you run away.
I will still want to. I just hate my own mind. I'm still gonna want to stop and fight him.
But the big thing here is like even with Shadow Link
again?
They're really pushing the whole leaderboard thing, like finishing in the dungeon as quick as you can. So
interesting.
Yeah,
that'll be cool. But...
which is something they kind of added whenever they remade like Ocarina of Time, and even with Skyward Sword, you could go back and like do the boss rush stuff. So I wonder if this is something similar. But yeah, that's basically all of the details that I got. So what's everyone's thoughts on Link's Awakening?
Good.
All right.
So good. No, it looks amazing. I'm still playing Cadence of Hyrule over here. So
is it not great?
I'm so bad at Cadence.
Yeah.
It's there's a learning curve to it. Pretty intense. I just love staring at the little monsters like dancing. It's a good time.
Yeah, I like the Bokos being like.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried to play it without the rhythm?
I have.
Like you can turn the rhythm off.
You can turn it off, but I feel like that takes the soul out of the game. You know, like they're just. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not about it.
Yeah, it turns.
It's like playing Skyward Sword with no motion. Like, okay, maybe they should make that an option, but like. That's like the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. All right, so going around, starting with our guest, Holly. Three things that if we could add anything to this, whether it's something that you would like to see or something that you think they will do.
Ooh.
So 3 things that you would like to see or 3 predictions for Link's Awakening. We just went over a bunch of new features that they've added. So what are some that you would like to see? Wait, first of all, did you play the original Link's Awakening or DX?
I did, yes, okay. I did. I don't know. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. No, we'll get to Breath of the Wild too next.
I think we're also always thinking about Breath of the Wild to some degree.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what Breath of the Wild 2 needs? More water.
Oh, I was just thinking that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, like underwater.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, underwater.
You know, like
I was just
actual
thinking, like,
exploration. More rain? Like more rain?
No, like in Majora's Mask. Like it originally didn't even have a fishing pond, and whenever they remade Majora's Mask, they like gave us 2 fishing ponds. Like who cares? The moon's falling in 3 days. Yeah, like forget the moon's falling. What's better than adding 1 fishing pond? How can you make Majora's Mask better? Add 2 fishing ponds. And then
but Link's Awakening already has fishing.
Yes.
So more fishing.
And then with Breath of the Wild, they added in like usually there's just like one or two bodies of water, but there's like literally like the entire thing is like one giant body of water, and then there's
So
like
you want the
rivers
Wind
and
Waker.
swamps and
The Wind
everything.
Waker invades
That's what you
Breath of
want.
the Wild. Is that what's that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
No, I
okay.
just think it would be cool in Breath of the Wild to like actually go fishing. You know, like in Twilight Princess, they give you the fishing pole, and then you gotta like catch food for the cat.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Anyways,
and there's also a
Link's
fishing
Awakening.
pond,
We're talking
so-
about Link's Awakening, guys.
right.
I don't
So-
know. I don't know about that. I mean, it would be really cool if there was not. I wouldn't say like multiplayer, but yeah, with the dungeon creator and stuff. I don't know. That sounds like endless good times. So I'm totally down for that. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. You guys have me stumped because I wasn't thinking about that.
All right, Daniel, would you like to go first?
I guess. This is a lame one, but it's something Nintendo's been doing in like a lot of Switch games. I guess they're trying to push for that social media side of things. But since the camera shop is going to be disappearing, I think there's going to be some sort of, I don't know, portrait mode, or like maybe the camera, like a camera item instead that you get, and you can take little chibi selfies with Link, you know, something like that.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know how it would work really in that style of game, but
right,
like,
exactly.
Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Wind Waker HD had it. Splatoon 2 has a whole thing with that, with your amiibos. So I feel like they have some way of building it in. They seem to really like being able to have these weird situations where, I don't know, plus the chibi Link with his little, like taking a little selfie and smiling at the camera. I don't know, it'd just be adorable. But
Yeah, true.
I would love that, but I don't know, just something. I don't know how they would implement it to make it actually like fun. But since the camera shop is going, I feel like a camera item of some sort would probably take its place.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting if they were like how, because it's so like top down.
Yeah, if they.
But Pikmin 3 has a camera feature, and that's a top-down game.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You
I
use the
did not
camera,
play.
It throws it into first-person perspective, and you can look around. The whole world is like enormous, right? So
Right.
it's
Ooh.
so that's pretty cool. But then also you got to be careful, because if you're swarmed by like 100 Pikmin, and then you pull out the camera, and they're all just like right in your face. You're like, ah.
It's so cute.
Yeah,
It's
so
kind of. I was going for like, it's a nightmare, but yeah, it's cute too. So,
I was
Nah,
thinking
it's cute.
with
It's
that,
cute.
a link
yeah,
between
but
worlds.
That's all I got so far. I mean,
Right? Yeah, I'm yeah.
A link between
It's harder
worlds
because
lets
it's
you
not-
do that.
do which?
Like switch between the top down and the 3D perspective.
Well, kind of. Like when
Yeah.
you merge onto a wall, yes.
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
if it
for that
went
part.
from like when you pull out the camera, it'll just like do the same thing to where it goes from top down to side by side or whatever, like a side view. Like a normal 3D game. And then you can like just turn around as Link taking the picture, because it should be a crime. Like as cute as Link is in
You should
Link's
be able
Awakening.
to take photos.
Yeah, you should be able to take photos of them.
It's such a thing within games these days. You're right though. Like it would be missing. You would be missing out because it's so damn cute.
Mario Odyssey has like built-in filters for your snapshots, right? Like
Right.
it's yeah. RPG in the
True.
chat is calling me out for being obsessed with Pikmin.
I saw that. That's amazing.
I love Pikmin. What can I say?
Jesse just left. He's like,
Done.
I'm out of
Like,
here.
I've heard enough Pikmin talk for
Yeah.
1 year. Someone stop this guy. Why are we friends again? Oh no, he's bad.
Yay. I don't know. Jesse, do you have any hope, prediction? Whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your thing,
One that
Jesse?
I've been saying.
I think that's why he wants to talk about it.
Multiplayer
You're like, yeah.
would be mine. I want some
Multiplayer.
sort of multiplayer. Yeah, like
Mhm.
you could easily just like drop down another link onto the screen, and then both of you run around, do stuff.
That'd be pretty cute.
Yeah,
Mhm. I'm into it.
that would be my thing that I would want. All right, can you think of anything else, Holly?
I really can't.
Like
You're on the spot.
new dungeons. new weapon, like items from a new game. I don't know.
Oh, like I don't know. No, I don't know. I think just
Look
because
him in the eyes and tell him you've got nothing.
oh my god, look at his little black Satan eyes.
Empty voids.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm ready for some super cute animation to see kind of all the tricks and stuff that he does with all the weapons and everything. I think it'll be really, I don't know. I'm ready just for like
He's gone. Okay, he's back.
if things are predictions, I'm not quite sure because the game is so much more solidified.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what else I would add because it looks fabulous.
All right. Well, in that case, the next part of this segment would be what would be the next Zelda game that you would like to see brought to the Switch, whether it's one that's already been remade or a new remake altogether.
Are we just excluding Breath of the Wild 2 from this discussion? Because
well, like,
I just want that as soon as possible.
Like a remake or re-release or something like that, not an entirely new game.
Okay.
So
I would like Majora's Mask, please. Just bring it over.
that would be great. Even if it was just the 3DS version.
Yeah, totally.
Upraised.
Yeah.
Just because that game, honestly.
Well, we got
aside
two doll
from
hairs.
Ooh,
I want to
did
pet
we?
animals
Oh.
in Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Says
But don't
Katala.
pet the Bow Wow.
Don't pet the Bow Wow, no.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so cute if you had a camera feature and you could just take snaps of this Bow Wow just rushing towards you.
Oh yes. I do
You're like,
that
ah!
in Breath of the Wild. I try and when I like get a snapshot of monsters for the Chiral Compendium, I always try and wait till they're like mid, like a charge at me or something. I've got like pictures of Lionels and they're like, it's fantastic. That's the way you do it.
Is it not great?
I want to do that again.
Yo, Miss Click.
Someone say Skyward Sword. Yeah,
Miss
Daniel
Click.
was talking about how much he hates it.
No, that's not what I said. That's the opposite.
All right, so Holly wants Majora's Mask. Daniel, what do you want?
Always.
I actually, speaking, because you mentioned it, I actually do think that we need that Skyward Sword HD. And I think 2021 is the year for that to happen. Because that'll be Skyward Sword's, I can't believe I'm going to say this, 10th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And it's like one of the only ones left, really.
Yeah, exactly, right? Everything else has been remade in some shape or form.
Exactly.
So if they don't do that, then they could either Skyward Sword HD of some sort or like a nice collector's pack. Because they haven't given us like a collector's pack since the GameCube. So, there was that. The collector's disc had Zelda 1 and 2 and Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on it. And then the Wind Waker demo. Because that's how many years ago that was. It was pre-Wind Waker, the last time we had a Zelda collector's pack. Just think about that. So,
dang.
Yeah. They could give us like Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. Boom. Put those 4 games on a collector's disc.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Not disc.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
The medium has evolved. But
so this is kind of a cop-out. But what's better, in the same general idea or concept of Daniel's, just putting all the games onto something.
Just put everything on Switch.
What's better than one new Zelda remake is 2. So give us both Oracle games on the same cartridge. Or
another one that hasn't been remade yet. So.
Yeah. And they could just like redo it the same way they did Link's Awakening, because those were all 3 Game Boy, like original Game Boy Color games. So if they just remade them all in the same art style, it would work.
It's the same Link as Link's Awakening in those games as well. So
yeah,
that'd be awesome.
They could just bring him on more little cute adventures.
Yes.
And he'll slaughter everything in his path.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he's soulless.
Yes. He will cut you.
No eyes. No eyeballs.
Oh, he's so precious.
Hello, everyone. For those who don't know, our podcast, the 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐠𝐫, is also now available on iTunes and Spotify. And as a thank you to all of the people that subscribe on iTunes and leave us amazing reviews, we have a little spot here where we give some shout outs to some of you that have left some reviews or a star rating. So if you look up the 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐠𝐫 or 𝐓𝐴MOVERJESSE on iTunes and leave a comment, we will give you a shout out and read your comment live. So Daniel, what is our first review that you've picked?
Yeah, well, I picked this one up because it's just so nice. This comes from on iTunes, Skirt, unique username. They give us 5 stars on iTunes. They said, this podcast is amazing. It's my go-to every time I start up Breath of the Wild, which I'm still addicted to. Aren't we all? I love listening and finding out new things, and each one of the co-hosts are funny and have their own personality to add. Jesse himself is hilarious, and I respect his opinions because you can tell he's passionate and has an extensive research to back up anything that he says. I'm a fan and also watch the other YouTube videos, and there's a very comforting feeling when I put it on the podcast. Keep up the great work, guys. P.S. I was tempted to write the review as just, it's all right, which was Jesse's take on everything at E3. For those who watched my vlog, I'm like, Jesse, what'd you think of this? And he's like, it was all right. So, and I'm like, trying to contain my hype. So thanks for the little reference there, skirt.
Yeah. Holly, were you able to pick out one that you like?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
This one is from I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Julian Malensky says the best Zelda and Nintendo insight on iTunes. I'm assuming it kind of goes ... Okay, 5 stars. 𝐴𝐚OVERJESSE and crew have the best discussion on Zelda and all Nintendo related material on the internet. What makes this podcast so great is the personality of each member. Each one of them are knowledgeable about the source material and have a great sense of humor. I love listening to people talking about Zelda and making me laugh. I also love the theory videos as well. Keep it up, guys. Oh, that's so nice.
Yes, thank you. And the final review here comes from Frymat, who is on our Discord. He says, great podcast. This podcast has the funniest group of people that are so informative about the Legend of Zelda series. Very short, very simple. Thank you, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So,
beautiful.
For the
so beautiful.
For the 80 people that are still watching, congratulations on making it to the end, because this is the Zelda Mailbag.
And comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the 𝐴𝐚OVERJESSE channel, please consider purchasing a 𝐴𝐚OVERJESSE t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/𝐴𝐚OVERJESSE, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/𝐴𝐚OVERJESSE, and much, much more.